Merry Smissmas, everybody! I hope you are all enjoying this year's festivities as much as I am, because I have to say I quite like the new content we got for this year's annual Christmas update. However, not all of it is perfect, which is why I will be rating each map we got. The possible worst rating a map can receive is an F, and the best one, an A. So let's jump into the first map of the update, Brew. Brew is an attack defense map that left a weird taste in my mouth. It doesn't have much resemblance to Christmas, however I found it quite fun to play. It has an engaging layout and is considerably long. I found it quite fun to play on both blue and red teams, however I believe red team has a decent advantage on defense because of many choke points the map provides. Also, capturing the very first point seems to take way too long. I believe it should be a slightly faster cap time to make it doable. The last point is quite fun to attack and there are many angles to do so from, which was very helpful as the red team spawns are just by the point. While I did enjoy abusing my sticky bomb launcher in this map, because it is far from Christmas themed I have to give it a C. If it was a non-Christmas related update and they made the first point faster to cap, it would probably get a B. Moving on to the map number 2, it's Payload Camber. A traditional payload map set in a dry dusty area where blue must escort a cart up to red's secret mining base at the top of the hill. The map was actually published to the TF2 workshop in 2018, but Valve for some reason decided to add it in 2023 via a Christmas update. Sure, there are quite a few places on Earth where Christmas is celebrated in hot weather without any snow, so it could be that it's just hard for me, a humble Lithuanian, understand that Christmas is not all about snow. The map is laid out in a horseshoe shape, giving it a very unique look where players are able to see the first area from the last point and look up to see the final point from first. I must say I quite enjoy playing this map. It's pretty open in places, allowing for great sniping sidelines and rocket jumping, but also provides a fair amount of choke points that let me have some fun as heavy or pyro, classes that benefit from twisty bends and sharp corners. Even though the map is not Christmas themed, I really liked it. Kinda feels like a baby brother of Upward. I can't say that this map does any particular part exceptionally, however all in all it was very enjoyable and it will be sad to see it go until the next year. With this, even the lack of Christmas lights, I give it a B. Galleria. A one-of-a-kind map within Team Fortress 2 that I believe will put some sense into people that player destruction game mode is actually very cool and fun. Some of the maps for said game mode leading up to this were a little scattered and I would say too big. However, Galleria feels like one big King of the Hill map, except you have a giant car inside of it ready to kill you while unprepared. For some reason this map feels very nostalgic, even though it's a fresh breath of air as if it was some sort of take on Nucleus, which I now know is actually the case. I guess the round style map layout and a general Christmassy vibe really plays into the amazingness. I have noticed that there are two kinds of people playing it. Some people tend to run around on the ice and sell hot chocolate in the shops, while others try to be kings of the castle and take the whole top area. If you want to be somewhere in the middle, well, there's the second floor, a pretty safe pick for any sniper main. You can look down on the friendlies and make some heads roll, or walk a little bit further and get a great opening for the third floor's balcony. The map also features a few real movie posters that were actually remade into TF2 universe. A lot of them are very funny but also particularly awesome. I believe all classes can have exceptional fun in this map and I give it a very easygoing A rate, an absolute favorite of the update. Before we proceed to the next map, please consider subscribing as only 2% of the 8,000 people that saw my previous video about Valve's huge mistakes are subscribed to the channel. You can always change your mind later and it helps me a lot. Thanks! Each and every one of us has that food that you wish you loved but you simply hate, like olives. Well, the map CTF Haarp is like an olive to me. The map features a galore of possibilities but falls short because of either a difficult layout or because this new game mode simply sucks. The general theme of the map is quite exquisite, really reminds me of Cold Front. With a touch of Hydro? Everything from the objects used to texturing is quite cool. Even the layout is awesome if you don't have to account for the fact it also has to be enjoyable to play, but not just look good. This new game mode we got is very odd. A one-sided attack defense capture the flag. I have to say the concept of it is cool, but I cannot for the love of God agree that such a close quarter map is good for this. It feels like taking the first point is often a very easy task. However, actually winning the round later on is a gamble. You either rocket jump as a soldier to the last point carrying the briefcase and pray there is no enemy blocking it, or hope you will have enough synchronized Ubers to do a proper push, because without it, it's very hard. There's also a chance to win if you very quickly use the enemy's team's death timers after a fatal loss on the first point and rush to the second one. But that would seem to be happening very rarely. Again, I would love to love this map, but it's just not delicious. I hope we will get more maps for this game mode in the future and see what different layout can prove. For now, F tier. Hacksaw is pretty much a map we already have. And even though my absolute favorite game mode is Payload Rush, I can't say it is better than any other map we have for this particular game mode. It feels like only 50% of the map is actually used. The moment you spawn, you enter into a daunting brawl with the enemy team, which I have always been a fan of in Payload Rush. Then there's the middle area that goes around the rocky terrain. And lastly, the end of the map, where your cart rushes into the enemy team's electronics and you start hacking with your trusty saw blade. But the rest? I can't even talk about it. I don't even remember it. I rarely make it to any other part of the map and it feels like nobody else does either. It feels like either the teams push through the team rapidly or I simply cannot be bothered to leave the open area and join some close quarter combat. The map is nicely put, beautiful, but gives me a daunting feeling that I will never be able to truly enjoy it due to its weird layout. At least in maps like Pipeline or Nightfall you can get a proper sentry setup for defense. But here it's just weird. I guess the fact that the map is so small makes it difficult to strategize anything. Pipeline and Nightfall have more stages, and in most of them beyond the middle part of the tracks, in order to push the cart you have to get into enemy territory. In Hacksaw, it always feels like you're either in a safe place or in space where nobody is safe. No in between. It's quite an okay map, and it's great to see one more Payload race map, but it does not beat any other of its competitors. Because of these issues, unfortunately, it goes to the D tier. Krampus! Krampus is a popular legend within Central Europe. It's a half-goat, half-demon monster that punishes misbehaving children at Christmas time. The Krampus in TF2 is no different. It punishes misbehaving children that like to hold open sidelines that the map provides by running at them with his huge stick. This King of the Hill map is unusually simple. Getting to the midpoint is very easy and fast, and there you are often met with a furious battlefield between red and blue. However, it never seems to be one big battle. Upon running to mid, you are likely to see many different groups of enemies and allies fighting each other as if they were football ultras, always trying to get the most vulnerable ones in groups. Fortunately, unlike in many King of the Hill maps, here each class has a chance to perform very well. Sniper has the vast aforementioned sightlines, heavies can camp the spiral stairs, engineers can place a semi-offensive level 3 sentry and an effective teleport to help everyone get to the battlefield. However, when Krampus spawns, it's your fight or flight senses kicking in. You either have to escape him very quickly because he's quite fast, or abuse the fact that he is not targeting you and get a kill on your enemy. It's lovely to see Valve has decided to allow another boss into the game, because we haven't seen anything new in quite some time. This map is quite fun to play, but in all of my matches I found myself not paying any attention to the capture point itself. I just enjoyed embarrassing my enemies that Krampus was chasing. A fresh breath of air, a funny yet dangerous boss that gives you a rush every time you're trying to flee. B tier. Snowtower. Because having just a few high tower knockoffs is not enough. A solid idea that has fallen short. Unlike the tower it possesses in the middle of the map, while the general map surroundings are very nice, cozy, and sometimes even spooky, the map has terrible issues. The first one that many players seem to address right away is the fact that you can see the capture point right from your spawn door. That means direct hit soldiers and snipers can stay safe and spam as much as they can without endangering themselves. A simple fix to this issue would be to add a wall in front of the spawn door, so that they would have to move out of the spawn area at least a little bit. The next issue is that the map's layout just does not make any sense for the King of the Hill game mode. I'd say about 60% of the map is useless. You will occasionally see a cloaked spy or a demo knight run towards the tunnel area or the building on the edge of the map, but all in all it's just empty. I think having the point in the main building is a very cool idea that leads to some great attack and defense plays, meaning that the map could have been saved if the other unused space would be either deleted or exchanged with something of bigger value to the players. I still enjoyed playing this map because the area around the point is actually very fun to engage in, but even because of that I do not feel like it would be fair to place it higher than the D tier. The map Emerge I think would be better off called Oof Merge. Don't get me wrong, the map is not half bad, but the first time I played it by pushing the cart further and further I kept thinking, oof, This is going to be a difficult area to siege through. I believe the defending team in this map has a very decent advantage, especially in the first and last point. Maybe the first point would be easier on the attacking team if the car did not have to roll up such a steep hill. So far in my experience it was difficult to win any matches on this map, but this could very well just be a skill issue of mine. Just like Camber, this map is not Christmas themed, leaving even more suspiciousness about why it was added to the game now. Was it because Valve found no better maps themed for the occasion? Was it because they really thought it was a good time to celebrate Christmas in the style of Aladdin? Well, either way, I am not pissed about the fact every map that was added is lacking Christmas trees and beautiful flashlights. The map is actually very nice. It's definitely unique for TF2 style. Feels like it's made out of 3 open blocks, after which you have to quickly go through a small choke to emerge into even more openness. I don't really have more to say about it, and I'm getting very excited to talk about the next map, so C tier. Now, if you like Galleria but wanted something even more familiar and nostalgic, here's Turbine Center. A beautiful take on an all-time classic. Turbine is one of the earliest maps from TF2 and has been very popular ever since it came out. This map adds a lot of detail to a generally fairly simple map. Gifts, shops, Christmas lights and trees, a moving killer train, and even some slight layout changes, or rather additions, that I think are very welcome and nice. The map not only looks very beautiful, but is also decorated differently between the two sides. The layout is still symmetrical, but the props are not. When playing the map, it came to my attention that people tend to fight more in the middle point here compared to the original Turbine. It could be because it's harder to sneak through the area without getting noticed. It feels like the rounds are also taking longer, but this could just be luck of the team draw. This has to be by far one of the most detailed maps in Team Fortress 2, and with that, it becomes one of the best reskins of a map. But the fact that it also adds some great long-needed and smart changes to the layout itself that some competitive Turbine versions used for a very long time allows me to give out my second A rating. Well done! The last map of the update is Carrier, an engaging concept that fails to work for attack defense. I think the other map that features this game mode but instead allows both teams to have a giant robot makes more sense. Then you can see 2 teams clash in a symmetrical map with the titans in the middle. It makes for a more engaging and intense round. Either way, the map seems to be a bit too small for the giant robot to properly enjoy its full size and power. The red team definitely has an advantage in most parts of the map, making it incredibly difficult for blue to win. But it's not all bad. The way it's decorated is pretty nice, especially the part leading up to the first point is quite unique and reminds me a lot of something that could be found in an MVM map instead. I played Carrier quite a bit this update so far, but it did not leave me with much excitement moving forward. D tier. That's it for me rating this year's Smissmas maps, but I also wanted to say, I hope you're all having a nice winter season, enjoying the updates, having a nice time with your family, so until next time, bye!